Well, good morning, fellow YouTubers. Actually, that doesn't make any sense. They're not fellow YouTubers, they're
YouTubies.
YouTubies. We are coming at you from Oregon, and it isn't just Jordan and I in the bus anymore. If you guys watched our latest video, we have a very, very, very special guest.
Slan! Hi! Good morning!
We're gonna be adventuring, I think, a little bit today. We're making our way down the West Coast, and you wanna say something?
Yeah, we also have 4 other friends.
4 other friends that we're with.
And they're right over there, and they're both in schoolies.
Yes.
You guys wanna go meet them?
Yeah.
Let's go. Is this a traditional Australian breakfast, Phil?
Yeah, pretty traditional.
A little Vegemite on some white bread and cheddar cheese?
Won't be offended if you don't like it.
That's tasty. That is salty.
Yeah, I may put a little much on there.
Give it a go.
I like it.
What does it taste like?
Oh my god, with the cheese, that's
Tastes like soy
perfect.
sauce
Yeah.
on bread.
That's what I was gonna say.
Like
It like
cheesy.
smells like soy sauce.
So we're hanging out with this Australian dude, Phil. We're in his bus.
What's up?
This dude came here all the way from Australia, converted this bus in 7 days. And now he's been traveling in it for, how long have you been in it for?
I don't know, 4 to 5 months or something like that.
This is super fitting because today we're talking about van life vehicles, and specifically
Buses! It's up soon.
alright, so this is Phil's bus right here from the outside. You can see how big it is. And this is another bus that we've been traveling with. This is Derek and Amy's bus. Not as long, but still big. And Payson, they got a little daughter with her, and she's the cutest girl in the world. But today we want to talk a little bit about vehicles, and we want to try to sell you guys on why, if you're thinking about joining van life, you should consider a short school bus.
So we're getting the heck out of here. Clearly, the weather is not on our side today, but the amazing thing about van life is you can chase the sun whenever you want.
But before we start driving, we want to talk about the first reason why you should consider getting a minibus if you're going to join van life. Before we get started with this, we consider a minibus as part of van life. And you can define van life any way you want. How we really do it is if the vehicle can fit in a parking spot, we consider it as part of van life. That flexibility of travel and being able to go wherever you want is kind of how we classify it. And then like the big school buses are kind of different because they have a much harder time going into cities. They couldn't park where we're parked right now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a different lifestyle. The biggest van I've seen is the 170 Sprinter, which is 170-inch wheelbase. And that is a square footage of like 93 square feet. And this one is 105 square feet. So in this bus, you have a lot more width.
Right.
So because you have more width and
There's a lot more living space options, and you can host a lot more people inside your living quarters.
And it gives you a lot more options for the bed. If you're over 6 feet tall like me, you can turn the bed sideways and then you can still stretch yourself out completely. And if you're limited to the 80-inch width of a van, then it's a little bit harder to place your bed if you're over 6 feet.
Totally.
Now this isn't just a comparison between Sprinters and buses because there's other vans. There's the Dodge ProMaster, which I know is a little bit wider. And then you have the Mercedes 170 Extended, which is even longer. So there are other options out there for you. So obviously when it comes to a vehicle that you're gonna be living in full time, the space is the most important. It dictates everything. It dictates the amount of storage you have, the amount of people you can have in there,
And your quality of life.
and your happiness for sure.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start driving south. Let's see if we can find a little bit of sun. Well, we got to our camping spot for the night. A little tight squeezing in this little thing. As I'm sure you saw from the drive, the fog was kind of putting like a damper on everything, but it kind of makes everything look a lot more dramatic.
So how do? Oh.
It's
So
a
I.
stick, dude.
No, that's a slug, dude.
That's a stick. Kaylee thought that this was a slug. We saw a snake earlier and she screamed like a little girl. And now she's just looking at for everything. Anything that wiggles and is long.
Yeah.
Point number 2.
Point number 2.
Why, if you're thinking of joining van life, you should think about a minibus.
Is that most of the time when you're getting a bus, it's coming from a school system. And usually when these buses are being maintained and all of that stuff, they're putting a lot of money into maintaining these buses because they need to keep these kids safe. So maintenance for the buses
It's always really good.
are usually very well maintained.
So when you get a van, usually you're getting it from someone like a plumber, an electrician, or someone else who's doing some kind of trade. And I remember when we were looking at vehicles,
Yeah.
we were looking at one in New York,
Right.
and it had like 80,000 miles on it. It was like $15,000. It was a Sprinter van.
Yep.
And we paid someone to go and do an inspection, and it was beat to crap.
Yeah. And it ended up being the guy was like a plumber or something.
The guy was a
right?
plumber.
Yeah.
So
And
you don't
so
know-
you don't know where you're getting.
You don't know how well they took care of the vehicle, but you know with the school system that most times it was taken care of very well.
Yes.
What are you making for dinner?
Oh, you don't even know.
Tell me about it.
We are making. Sarah, do you want to tell the people what we're making tonight?
Make some avocado toast.
Avocado
Oh.
toast.
Garlic and onion.
With some garlic and onion. Top that shit up with that garlic and onion.
Yeah. We're gonna put some roasted pine nuts on
Just
top.
a little bit of the roasted
And
pineapple
then
right on top
for
just
those
for
who
you,
wish,
baby.
we're gonna mash up some tomatoes and make like a
Tomatoes.
little like tomato paste kind
Tomato
of thing.
tomato paste just for the top, just for you, baby.
I see this shit that I've been having to deal with this whole time. These guys are out of their minds. Well, I failed to make a fire. I tried dousing it in lighter fluid. Oh! And I just made a little fireball, which is exciting for a
We
moment.
got pretty excited about it.
But
Yeah.
it's okay, because you know what we're gonna do tonight instead?
What are you gonna do?
We're gonna watch a movie.
What movie are we gonna watch? We don't have any movies.
Yeah, we do.
What do we have?
The Breakup with Jennifer Aniston, my girl.
We're watching The Breakup.
And,
You guys see this shit I have to deal with?
Or the first Lord of the Rings.
or the first Lord of the
Oh, we should watch the first Lord of the Rings.
I don't know if I have the mental capacity to do that.
No, you do.
We have a lot of wine. Would that help? Or
That'll help either way.
You think?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just gonna end up like staring at the screen and being like, what the heck's going on?
Didn't like what?
Like, something like that.
Prost.
cheers.
Roast.
Bomb ass.
Wow.
That's all you, kid.
I'm really bad. Look at her looking at me.
Honey. You're so sweet. You have your dog food.
Oh, it's cat food.
Oh, that's right.
You want to tell them the story?
Yeah, so we went to the store and I went to go get Lola dog food and I got cat food by accident. That's the story.
All right, you want to talk about number 3?
Yes, number 3. So with a bus, you are going to be paying way less than you would for a Sprinter van, for a Dodge Ram, or a Ford Transit. So yeah, you're gonna be paying way cheaper, and that's pretty much that's the only point that I gotta say.
Bibbidi, bibbidi, bibbidi. Done.
Just to give you a little bit of perspective, it kind of changes from different regions, but you can buy a bus like this very easily in the Northeast for $5,000. Somewhere around like 70 to 100,000 miles, pretty good shape. When we were looking for high top vans, Sprinter van, Ford Transit, Dodge ProMaster, when we were looking for one of those, we were looking at 150,000 miles. It was like 15 to 20 grand.
And another thing too is not only is the cost of the bus going to be cheaper, but usually most of the time the cost of the maintenance is going to be a lot cheaper as well.
Especially if you get a gas. So
Right.
this one's a gas. You can get plenty of gas buses. You can get gas or diesel.
Right.
So the gases are definitely cheaper to fix. There are vehicles that you can get that are similar in price to a bus. You could get a camper van, but then you're going to lose out on the square footage of living space,
Right.
which is
Huge.
the most important, especially if you're going to do it full time.
Yeah.
The most important piece of it all.
Especially if you're living with someone like you. Gotta get
With
that
me?
Yeah, you. You gotta get that space.
With me?
We you. Jordan, it's time to wake up.
No,
It's 6 in the morning.
no, it's not.
Sunrise.
Oh, we just finished watching The Breakup, it's called, right? The Breakup. Jordan fell asleep within the first, 2 minutes. So we're hitting the hay. Time to get some Z's on. And we'll see you guys bright and early. And hopefully the rain makes its way out of here and we get some nice sunshine tomorrow. But we'll see.
Check out all those little seals right there. Sunbathing on that rock. So Sarah and I decided to come on a little earlier morning hike. We wanted to try to get to this view, but Kaylee was a little bit too tired. She was sleeping in bed, so let's go see what she's doing.
Hello.
Beautiful view.
So beautiful.
Hey, you'd still be sleeping in bed.
I was flopping around a little bit, but then I was like, I should get up.
So the last reason why you should consider a minibus for your van life is because of the amount of space, the extra space that you'll have to build stuff on the roof, like a roof deck, solar panels, extractor fan, maybe put your propane up here.
And I mean, granted, you probably could do this on a van if you really wanted to, but
We know some people with roof decks, but they're not as big.
they're not as big. You can't have like a dance party up there, most likely not.
So you should get a bus so you can have a dance party on your roof. But having extra space like this is really important. I mean, storage is, as anyone will tell you, is key. And you can do stuff like put storage containers up here. And I have like this big future dream of putting the bedroom up here and having like some type of roof that can go up and down. Kelly's not a fan of it. Yeah, we'll put like a rooftop tent up here or something with like a mattress.
Yeah,
Or like something that can like go flat and then like lift up, and then you have all this space down below.
I'm down, but we're gonna put some railings up here.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So for this video, we kind of just want to focus on the benefits of living in a minibus, but just like any vehicle, there's positives and negatives. So some of the negatives is stuff like
It doesn't have 4x4 usually. Most
Four-wheel
of the time,
drive.
it doesn't have 4-wheel drive.
never. I don't think a bus. I've never seen a bus with four-wheel drive unless like it's been custom done.
Right.
Yeah.
Usually, if it's not diesel, you're going to be spending a lot more money on gas, so it's not as efficient with gas mileage. And probably it's not as stealthy as a camper van.
Unless it's painted as a YMCA bus, because people get so confused by this thing.
Yeah, that's true.
What is that? But what we think a minibus does do is all the things that are most important. The amount of space that you have,
Yeah.
the reliability of the vehicle,
Yeah.
and the cost of the vehicle.
Totally.
We think it hits on all those things.
Absolutely.
So we want maybe just a few people who are thinking about joining van life to just consider there's other alternatives
Then a van.
than high top vans.
And if we were to ever do it over again, we would 100% pick a bus. We have no regrets about this decision.
And we made this decision totally based off our own naivety. Like
Yeah.
we did no research. This was the first vehicle we found, and we just got super lucky.
Yeah. So that's all we have for you guys today. And I think we're gonna make a move on, try to get the heck out of this rain and go chase some sunshine.
In California,
Go to California.
pay like 50 cents a gallon more for gas.
Yeah, it's fine. It's totally fine. And we'll see you guys next time.
See you next time.
Much love.